Alright, so the Cell Max event. I've seen people talk about this a lot. I think I understand. So the Cell Max event is designed differently. Now, what I mean by differently, I mean it's a hard event. It's just that there's a couple things that are different compared to the red zone because nowadays we're gauging the differences between this event and I should have pulled up the red zone actually and the red zone because the red zone is also very hard as well. Just the fact that there are certain restrictions you have to go through compared to this one. Now, to keep it fair and simple, both of these allow us to use one item. Well, actually, Cell Max restricts us currently to only one item, which is the Senzu Bean, which I guess it makes sense. No, we can't have. The reason why they're limiting us to one item is because it's supposed to be difficult. If they gave us more items, it will be too easy. Same thing with the red zone. It will be too easy if they gave us more items, which is the reason why they limited us to one. Second, the teams we have to use to actually uh, take on these various stages. Well, I'm mostly going to be focused on Cell Max, but the teams are going to mainly focus on for this event alone is pretty small. The amount of units that we can use. Now, keep in mind, this event is only hard just because of the very last phase. The last phase, Cell hits you for like, I don't know, 400k on normal if you're not if the unit can't defend because of the amount of defense that they have. That's pretty much the only thing I would say about that part. But in terms of the units that you could use, and I could go off on a tangent, but these are some of the ones I've seen from other people. Commonly, it's going to be Hercule because Hercule has what do I call it? High damage reduction and high chance to dodge. That is very good. Essentially, especially when you are taking uh, a lot of damage. This guy definitely helps a lot, and he's an int unit, so I'd say this is very, very good. Oh, he's a bond parent and child. Oh, maybe I should have brought him on there, huh? Oh, anyways, yeah, this is the team I built uh, a couple days ago when I took on this event and finally beat the event. Obviously, it did take a little bit of RNG, just because of the rotations I had set up, but most of the cases, global is kind of at a small disadvantage just because you guys don't have LR Trunks and Vegeta. They're very good, but you guys don't have them. You guys won't be having them until like 4 months in, I believe, or three to 4 months in. Yeah, 3 to 4 months before you actually get them, which is going to be a while. Because by then, the next hardest event will be released during the Worldwide Download Celebration, and you do have options that will be coming up soon. You have Chile, for those on JP, she is a very, very good unit. To not only reveal the location of the enemy's super attack, but to also dodge and get defense. She purely gets defense, which is what she's made for. She's made to get defense. It's not like other units are going to get attack or defense. She is strictly made for defense. So, if you're playing on JP, this option is definitely very useful, especially with the categories that she's on. Space Traveler Warriors or Bond of Friendship. Those are like the best categories you could probably put her on. In terms of that, you have PyCon. Oh boy. Actually, I also want to bring up 17 and 18 as well. Both 17 and 18 and PyCon are very exceptional units, especially for this red zone. Uh, Keeping in mind the fact that they actually just do single. No, they're Ghost Ushers. Yeah, that's right. They're Ghost Ushers. So this is going to be very useful. PyCon's gonna be a little more useful personally, just because he's on Movie Heroes, just for that kind of thing. You guys don't have to put them on specific leader skills, because the team, just like the 200% leads and all that stuff. And that's what's major about this is the fact that the 200% leads have changed the game. Before it was only 170% leads. Now we're going up to the point where 200% leads are the biggest, or one of the biggest factors into how difficult the content's going to be. Because literally, literally any hard event that's going to be coming out is going to change how we design, how we make our teams, and that is probably another factor in here is team building for events like these. Now, in particular, is it actually hard? Is the red zone actually hard? Is the new Cellmax event actually hard? The answer is yes. They're both hard in a sense. I've seen the community say that it's actually kind of boring. The fact that when they release new hard events, you have to pull for new shiny characters or shiny cards that will give you the opportunity to beat the events, especially that they're the very first of their kind to actually, take on the event. Where in the current case that we have right now, we have units that can take on the event, but we don't have new units that can take on this event very easily at best. So expecting the fact that the new Worldwide Down Celebration units will obviously take on this event and probably the next hardest event that will be coming out during the Worldwide Down Celebration are also going to be feasing through the red zone like nothing. Probably not, because they'll probably not be built for it. They'll probably be built for something like this, or maybe they will be built for this because of how hard this dude hits. But I can also see the point of why people are like freaking frustrated at this kind of crap, just because of how this event is designed. But you have to keep in mind that they're going to create more hard events, maybe even harder events that won't even let you use an item in the future. Probably won't even happen. But in the case that it does happen, no item runs may or may not be important. You've seen already content creators like Truth, for instance, do no item runs in this event, and he does fine. It's because he rainbows literally every unit, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the first complaint from other people is the fact that he rainbows every unit. That's fine. Dude, I have no rainbow units. I do no rainbow unit. Well, actually, I have one just because I had Goku for a Goku for a very long time. But I rarely do rainbow showcases because I don't pull for every copy in the goddamn game or pull every unit for every goddamn game. I'm free to play straight up. I'm straight up free to play, and I struggled with this guy for like a few days just because I'm trying to figure out like what are the best strategies for this and all that stuff. Well, keep in mind that sometimes old units that you have may or may not be worthless. Some of the new units can be very good, but there are some old units like this guy who released in 2018, almost 4 years ago now, is actually useful. Actually, and it's not even a joke. He's actually useful. So you may never know. You may never know. You may find a unit that's actually very terrible at the very beginning, but then becomes very good for a particular event that's actually hard and notable to the point where it exists. I'm just literally complaining about like there's so much community reactions for this. It's kind of hilarious, but at the same time, is it though? Is it really? I can't really say that for myself or for the entire community because everyone has different perspectives on this. But I can put this out there right now and say that there's going to be harder events. There's going to be more. There's going to be very varied strategies to where maybe the new 7th year anniversary units won't be enough. Or actually, there we go. Where the 7th year anniversary units won't be enough. Or the the Tanabata Celebration LRs are going to be enough. Or the brand new LRs that will be coming out in part 2 won't be enough anymore. So you have to bring in some quirky, wacky ass units that will probably work, but still have a good advantage, at least in specific hard events. There is going to be that point. And you know who's going to blame us for not pulling for them? Ourselves, because we believe that they are going to be either trash or not trash. Now, for most of my videos, I don't actually compare units into the red zone. Most of the cases, because There's other events outside of the red zone. There's more events outside of the Cellmax event. There's Super Battle Road. There's Battlefield. Those are like the second, the third hardest events or content in the game right now. So if a unit is not good for red zone, it's potentially good for SBR because it's another hard event or another hard piece of content out there, and everyone can take advantage of it because there's no limits. Just like the Cellmax event, there there's no limit to items like the Cellmax event or the red zone, and yeah, that's it. There really is no particular limits. Well, except for friend leader skills, because let's be honest, the only reason why I'm talking about this is also because of the friend system. Dude, I don't know why. The red zone, no, I'm sorry, the friend system sucks. They did ask us about that during the 7th year anniversary survey, so I hope they at least get something to that point. You know, the friend system needs a very bad update, like they need an update badly. So that's probably another thing, just because if you want to run a particular team, but like say for example, I don't know, Raditz for instance, that's just like unit that came on the top of my head. Raditz for instance, and you want to find another friend that has it. Guess how many friends you're gonna find? At least one. After 10 runs, after 10 reruns of trying to get the right Raditz friend. I don't care. You wouldn't care if it's 55% or 100% or even probably 0%, but preferably like 100% or at least a dupe. And you've done 10 multiple runs just for it. That's a yikes. That's probably one of the reasons why it's kind of hard, is because the friend system is almost as oblivious. The amount of damage that units that these bosses do is crazy. And the mechanics for each phase are actually also very interesting. It's actually one of the other major factors for hard events is the fact that you could be restricted to most cases. Well, in the Cellmax event, you can dodge. For the loving hell, I thought you wouldn't be able to dodge. Just from my first initial thoughts, because of my very first video of me posting this freaking event, I thought you wouldn't be able to dodge, which would be very sad. But the fact that you can run this as many times as you want, you could bring in only one or two senzu beans actually, but you still need like stacking units. I brought in a couple stacking units in there actually, so I wouldn't say it's like truly hard. But this is a good event where some units can shine. Like say for instance, LR Super Saiyan Goku. LR Super Saiyan Goku, the Int one, the Namagoku, um, has enough shine in here. At least he's very useful against an extreme class enemy. I think that's what I forget. I think that's what he does. Just very quickly, you take a look at this guy. There he is. Yeah, he gets an additional boost when there's an extreme class enemy. That's essentially that. Like it's not really crazy hard for this guy to do much. Because he'll do well. He'll do well. I'm pretty sure he will. Just the fact that now we're in the point where the hard events are going to get harder, or they're going to get easier. Because I think the last time they released a hard event was definitely the 6th year anniversary God events, which personally was very hard. I don't believe I did every stage. I recorded every stage, which was very disappointing of me, because it took a lot of RNG for me. Now that's just for my case, because I focus on a lot on defense, but I also focus on a bit of RNG, which is for everyone's case actually. With the red zone, it's more than just RNG now. It's more also about strategy and what units you should bring in, what kind of units you should bring in. In most cases, let's say Broly for instance, you have to bring in, I believe, tech units. Yeah, tech units. Whereas for Cell, you have to bring in int units because his last base is tech, and you probably get hit for almost 500k on super, and he double supers on his third phase actually, which I was very surprised of when I finally beat him. I was like, oh my god, he actually super twice. But luckily enough, I was able to actually dodge and counter with freaking Gogeta. So, yay. But, however, there is going to be units that will be releasing later on in the future that will make events like these easier and probably not other future events harder, as I would say, you know. Maybe a unit that will be released may suck at the very beginning, but can become very good when a new hard event arrives, or a new hard stage arrives essentially. And people then understand that this unit became underrated in such a certain amount of time. Just really depends, really. But that's all I wanted to throw out there. It's just my reaction to literally the entirety of what is considered hard nowadays. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Cellmax event and the difficulty of future events coming up. It really depends on the player, honestly. But I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on it. So let me know what you guys think. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.